You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
I'm back. Rudrance for Black and White Sports 2. Well, we got two big pieces of news in this morning, and they both involve the Denver Broncos, of course, a team we talk about a lot, mainly Russell Wilson. We love to talk quarterbacks on this channel, but definitely love talking some coaching news, and I've said I'm a Michigan fan and also a Niners fan, so I know a lot about Jim Harbaugh, all right? Although I still contend his best coaching job he's ever done was winning so much at Stanford. I mean, that shit is absolutely impressive. I absolutely feel like the Denver Broncos, they need to take a swing. They're looking at trying to fix what is a disastrous Russell Wilson right now, and he is putrid. I mean, he is dog shit bad all season. You guys know, you're subscribed to this channel. You know, I've said the two worst quarterbacks in the league have both been named Wilson, one Zach, one Russell. It's very clear Russell Wilson cannot throw from the pocket. He wishes to do so. And so it's going to require somebody that can come in, an offensive guru that can massage the situation or flat set him down, have the stones to set Russell Wilson down, look at him and go, you're not tall enough to play in the pocket. Oh, but Drew Brees, you're no Drew Brees, Russell. Okay. Drew Brees mastered the art of playing in the pocket entirely standing on his toes. And Drew Brees is slightly taller than Russell Wilson, okay? So that's a thing, right? We know Russell's got to scramble, he's got to roll out, he's got to bootleg, all this stuff in order to be a productive NFL quarterback. Well, they're interviewing two. Walmart owners have deep pockets, and they're taking two massive swings. And the first one we'll look at is Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh is interviewing with the Denver Broncos this week. And in case you're wondering, the other one is Sean Payton. That's right, the Saints coach. A lot of people kind of thought he might end up just going back to the Saints. So you got to credit the Broncos for at least trying to take another big swing and having a backup plan. Or maybe Sean Payton is the Harbaugh backup plan. We don't know, okay? We don't know. One's Outkick, one's PFT. Jim Harbaugh is reportedly going to interview with the Denver Broncos in the very near future, despite multiple claims about anticipating no departure from the Michigan Wolverines. Keep in mind, they're facing potential NCAA allegations and discipline. Harbaugh will interview with the Broncos, quote, early this week, according to Tom Pelissero. Denver has been looking for a new coach ever since firing Nathaniel Hackett. The Broncos plan to interview Jim Harbaugh for a head coaching job early this week, per sources. Denver's new owners want to swing big, and landing Harbaugh, the former 49ers and current University of Michigan coach, would be about as big as it gets. Michigan and Harbaugh were recently slapped with alleged NC2A violations. It's believed Harbaugh might have misled investigators about paying for a couple of burgers for some recruits. We can pay players now, but we can't pay for their burgers. Is that what? Wow, the NC2A is a joke. It's possible Harbaugh doesn't want to deal with the headache that the NC2A might decide to go to the NFL. Look, that's exactly what happened with Pete Carroll. When he left USC, he knew trouble was coming down the pipeline, and he went to Seattle. That worked out really well, by the way. As noted, well, for Seattle, not so much for USC. As we've noted before here on Outkick, one of his statements hedged in a major way about his commitment. While he said he was staying, the head coach also noted he just didn't know what the future holds. Now, Jim Harbaugh will reportedly interview with the Broncos. And look, he flirted with the Vikings last year. Let's look at Payton, and they have actually worked out compensation by way of trade with the Saints already, so that part is taken care of. Broncos received permission to interview Sean Payton for head coaching job. Denver Broncos are going for quite the rebound. The last place Broncos have been granted permission by the New Orleans Saints to interview Sean Payton for their head coaching vacancy. Denver fired Nathaniel Hackett after just 15 games, but he clearly had been overmatched since week 1. Starting with the first game, Hackett was heavily scrutinized. He burned the clock to attempt a 64-yard field goal instead of going on 4th and 5 in Seattle week 1, which was just a preview for the rest of the season. Look, nobody could have foreseen Russell Wilson being that bad, though. Let's be real. Okay? Payton announced after the 2021 season he would step down from coaching. However, since he is still under contract with the Saints, team must request permission to interview him. Whichever team does hire Payton would also have to give the Saints some sort of compensation, likely draft capital. I have heard it's going to take a first. How is that going to be possible for the Broncos? 58-year-old has 2 years remaining on the Saints deal. Payton has previously said he would be happy to return to coaching next year. Payton resigned as the Saints head coach in January, stating that coaching, quote, was not where my heart is right now, but he never ruled out a return. Quote, I still have a vision for doing things in football. At the same time, and I'll be honest with you, that might be coaching again at some point. And it goes on to talk about the fact that he won a Super Bowl with the Saints. He was 152-89 and a 9-8 record in the postseason. 7 NFC South titles. And look, I think the biggest part of Peyton's legacy, along with Drew Brees, is the fact that, look, the Saints were known as the Aints, okay? I grew up during that entire disastrous time period for the Saints. Bags over heads, I remember that very vividly. They used to play in the NFC West, okay, and they played the Niners. All right, that was actually considered a rivalry back in the day, but that's neither here nor there at this point. I think either option would be good. Keep in mind, Sean Payton was on with Colin Cowherd several weeks ago, maybe even 10, 12 weeks ago at this point, and he even began to lay out some plans of what he would do to try to fix Russell Wilson right there on the herd. It was really interesting. Laid it out. Talked about what he would do. One of his plans, he said he would have the coaching staff put together essentially like every play that Russell Wilson has ever made throwing the ball that was over 30 yards. Every play that actually connected and was successful. And he would figure out, he'd take like the top 20 or 30 of them, and they would all get immediately installed into the playbook. Okay, so I've listened to a lot of his commentary this year, and he is really fascinating, talking about how he incorporates not only his offense, but his offensive coaches are tasked with the job of scouring the entire NFL every single week for any kind of new play they may want to put in the offense that another team ran. He pays close attention to people like Kyle Shanahan and Andy Reid, obviously, right? Josh McDaniels is another one, right? All the big sort of the offensive guru guys Payton pays attention to, and I like that. I mean, because he's sort of the guy. All right, Payton is very good offensively, but the fact that he's willing to incorporate, move around, and play to the strengths of his quarterback, who knows? Maybe he can save Russell Wilson. Again, it should also be noted with Jim Harbaugh, Jim Harbaugh saved Alex Smith's career. He absolutely did, and got the most out of Colin Kaepernick, who, let's be honest, wasn't a very good quarterback. I mean, Alex Smith was a bust. He was a full-blown bust. Jim Harbaugh came in. Next thing you know, all Alex Smith did really and truly was win for like the next 6 or 7 years between Harbaugh and Andy Reid. Yeah, I mean, I think either hire would be a great hire. I'm kind of surprised. And on Sean Payton's note, don't automatically assume he's going to go to the Denver Broncos. I absolutely believe the Miami Dolphins are still in play. There's already whispers. Mike McDaniel, because of the meltdown that the Dolphins have, McDaniels could get fired, and Tom Brady and Sean Payton could go to the Dolphins, or Tom Brady could go back to New Orleans with Sean Payton. Both of those things are being talked about quite a bit. The Saints thing as the most likely. Dome, offensive weapons already in place. Sean Payton, a lot of people believe, just wanted a year off and wants to go back to the Saints, and he wants Tom Brady. All right, so all of that is a factor. Tell me what you think, Black and White Sports supporters. Tried to break that down as best I could for you guys this morning. 2 big names, and I think the Broncos, look, they're hedging. And that's what good owners should do. You got 2 good potential choices, both QB guys. Save Russell if you can. And you know what they will be able to do? Identify if he can't be saved. And they need to move on. I mean, they neither will be afraid to go back to the Walmart group and tell him, no, he's not going to work out. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.